making decisions in the world, knowing what path is right for us, and learning to follow our hearts and intuition in a world that tells us that this is not worth listening to, and that rather this is far more intelligent and wise and reliable than this. None of these things are an easy task. And so today I want to talk to you about how in the realms of Tantra yoga, in the path of Tantra itself, there are philosophical teachings that can help us to understand how the heart is not only reliable but potentially wiser than the mind. In Tantra, there are these two fundamental principles that I'm hoping that you're somewhat familiar with, and if not, then I encourage you to research these further, because I'm only going to introduce them in a basic way. And these are the principles of Shiva and Shakti. Now, even just in introducing them, it sounds as though these are two separate things. And they have to be introduced in this way so that we can kind of mentally understand. But when we truly come to know them in a deeper and more embodied way, or to taste them as the truth of what we actually are in our highest reality, they're not two at all. So I'll start by saying that, and then I'll go ahead and explain them as though they're two separate things, just to really baffle your mind. So Shiva is infinite consciousness. Shiva is emptiness. Shiva is formlessness. Shiva is without quality. Shiva is that which the entire world is projected upon, like the screen of a movie. Some way that I also like to explain Shiva is it's as though Shiva is that which was there before the Big Bang happened. So if we understand the world as coming into reality through the Big Bang theory, then Shiva was that initial principle that was there before life came into creation. So then Shakti is the power of consciousness. If Shiva is consciousness, then Shakti is the power, the creative force that brings everything into form. She is your mind, she is the body, she is the world, the breath. Anything that can be perceived is an aspect of Shakti. Shakti is the bang. And together, they are the fundamental principles of all of reality. So in Tantra, there is also this kind of saying, which actually doesn't really come from Tantra, but is something that is a wonderful little phrase that helps to kind of bring a synopsis to this really complex and broad teaching that we can find appearing in many diverse ways across many religions and in many subcultures. And so that phrase is simply, as above, so below. And what this phrase is telling us is that the divine, Shiva and Shakti, the universe, truth, the absolute reality is not something that just lives in the sky. It's not just in the heavens. It's not outside of you. It is within. As above in the heavens, so below here on earth. So this means that Shiva and Shakti are inside of you. This means the entire universe, all of creation, all of non-creation exist within you. And this then is taught to us through Tantra in another two principles. We could say the microcosms of this macrocosmic principles of Shiva and Shakti then appear as Hridaya and Spanda. Hridaya is the spiritual heart. This is the aspect of Shiva that exists inside of you. In the Shiva Sutras, we are told that the heart, Hridaya, is the heart of Rudra, an aspect of Shiva. So our heart and the heart of Shiva are one. And we can connect with this silence, this space, through silence, through meditation, through deep contemplation. And then Spanda is the aspect of Shakti which exists inside of our hearts. This is the sacred tremor. And it's not exclusively in our hearts. In reality, it's in all of creation. It's in all of life. It's the sacred tremor which connects your heart with the hearts of all beings. In Kirtanam, when we practice chanting mantras together, it is said that our heartbeats synchronize. And we can understand this as coming together with the shared interest of connecting with truth, and then naturally this spanda comes into a shared rhythm. This sacred tremor, the mind is quieted, and so the tremor is no longer disturbed by the waves of the mind, and instead it's able to flow and express itself naturally as it would if it was not constantly, in our world being suppressed by the mind. So okay, we have these principles of Shiva, Shakti, Hridaya, and Spanda. So what this is basically meaning, if you haven't really caught on to this yet, is that the entire universe exists inside of you, and you can connect with that through the heart. Any questions that you might have, decisions that you might need to make, can be made by connecting through the heart. Wondering what your purpose is, wondering where to go, following your intuition is all as simple as connecting to the heart. So then how can we connect to the heart? First, I want to say that there can be some misunderstandings in our Western culture around what the heart is. Phrases such as, I wear my heart on my sleeve, or I don't know, my heart is too open. This is perceiving the heart more as an emotional thing rather than as the universe and the silent, spacious, as well as vibrant, dynamic aspect of pure being. So we can't open our heart too much. We can't give our heart away too much. We can't wear our heart on our sleeve. These are verbal ways of expressing the heart, but incorrectly. The heart is not emotional. The heart is simple. It's silent. It's still. And even that spanda is a very quiet pulsation. So in order to be able to connect with the answers of the universe, the purpose of your life, or really to find what it is that the divine is calling you to step into in this life, in this moment, we need to cultivate a discernment, what is called tarka in Tantra, the ability to have right knowledge and to know what is my ego speaking to me, what is my emotions, what is being perceived through the mind, and what is truly being said from the heart, what is truly being seen through the eyes of the heart. And this is really a consistent practice. The simplest way to chop through the main obstacle of the heart is by having discernment of being able to differentiate between the mind and the heart. So we use self-inquiry or jnana yoga to cultivate that knowledge and discernment, to be able to easily differentiate between the movements of the mind and the silence of the heart. But there are other ways that we can also start to increase the volume of the heart by meditating on the heart, by doing asana, yoga postures that are specifically for opening the heart, by prayer, by chanting mantra. Cacao ceremony is potentially one of the easiest ways, to take that microphone down from the head and bring it to the heart. And so when we increase the volume of the heart, while also coupling that with a practice of discernment where we start to learn how to chop the mind and separate the ego from the silence of our truth, then we can start to step into alignment in a world where we prefer the mind, where we are told that the mind is higher, that the mind is better. We can start to listen to this space within us that is this portal to to the universe, to all of creation, to our truth, to the ultimate, to the absolute being that we are.